Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tamer Talk. I am Dawn, the Director of Communication, joined by Chase, the brand manager. And Chase, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, just recently we actually swapped our titles. I know it doesn't really seem like anything because really nothing has changed in what we do, but the titles were kind of a little bit misplaced, we think, originally. So we ended up just swapping those since I'm the one that does a lot of the social medias and getting the brand out there. It made sense that I become the brand manager. She's the one that talks to a lot of content creators and talks to everyone in the servers and stuff like that. So it makes more sense for her to be the director of communications since she is the one literally communicating the most with people individually. So yeah, we went ahead and did a little title swap there. But besides that, we're still just doing what we do. We're still playing some Wild Hearts, sharing Wild Hearts with people. Yeah, having fun.
That's right. That's right. And speaking of what we've been doing, I'll let you go first, Chase. What have you been up to since we last met and chatted?
Not really a whole lot. Like we're getting ready. School starts back up, so my daughter has. We're getting her school supplies, all that fun stuff. She starts kindergarten, and yeah, so summer break coming to an end next week for us. So back to the early morning wake ups and all that fun stuff. But we got a couple cons coming up here. So me and my wife, we go to cons and sell stuff. She does a lot of painting and I do a lot of 3D printing stuff. So yeah, we're one of those people. We do a lot of but we do a lot of hand painting on a lot of our 3D prints. So got some of those coming up. So looking forward to that. Our summer was very like chill, and then school starts. We get busy with that, and then busy weekends as well. So it's gonna be crazy here moving forward. But you actually had some really cool fun stuff going on.
Yeah, I had a very busy last couple of weeks. I went to the Star Wars Unlimited Galactic Championship, which is the World Championships. It was the first one ever. So that was very exciting. That was held in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I got to participate on a panel there. I actually was slotted for two panels, one as a host and one as a guest. But unfortunately, after I did the first one, I ended up getting really sick and was like throwing up and all sorts of stuff. So had to head back to my hotel room and unfortunately ended up getting to miss out on the second panel, which was very unfortunate. I was looking forward to it, talking about building up your local communities, which is kind of exactly what we're doing. So that was something I was looking forward to, but unfortunately had to miss that. But led the Women of Star Wars Unlimited panel with some amazing women that work at Asmodee and work at Fantasy Flight Games. So that was super cool. That was amazing. And then headed back home for like 36 hours and then headed back out, driving everything. So we had a 12-hour drive to Vegas and back, and then an 19 hour drive to Indianapolis for Gen Con, which was super amazing. I'd never been to Gen Con before, so it was my first time. Got to play a bunch of different card games and check out like a bunch of different indie games and things like that. So, kind of see what other people were doing in terms of their card games and testing those out. I love card games. I've played a ton of different card games over the like almost 30 years that I've been playing card games. So it's always exciting to try new ones out, see what kind of things people are coming up with in terms of mechanisms and in terms of, card abilities and how things play out and kind of how they mix and match different mechanisms to piece together a card game. So that was really exciting. And then, had the big trip back. Unfortunately, also got sick a little bit, that kind of con crud, so was kind of down for the count for a day or two afterwards, but feeling much better and kind of getting back into the swing of things now. So yeah, it was a very busy couple of weeks, but back contacting content creators for our TCG reveals. We did our exciting Academy playthrough today with the new character and our new fields, which we're going to talk about even more in depth. But yeah, kind of getting back into the swing of working and doing more stuff at home now that I'm back.
Right on. Yeah, I'm so jealous. I've never been to Gen Con either. I've wanted to go so many times. There was like a lot of world championships or world championship qualifiers for a lot of games that I've played in the past, like X-Wing and like Legion and stuff like that. Big Star Wars guy. So a lot of tabletop games in general, though, are hosted at Gen Con, and one day, I think even we've talked about it a little bit, but even Wildhearts going and setting up there, they are Origins. So maybe in a year or two, anybody watching this, but I guess we'll see, right? You'll refer back to this video a year or two from now and be like, hey, you remember when you said that you wanted to do this? Well, you're doing it now. So fingers crossed that Wild Hearts be represented at Gen Con or Origins one time in the future. I'd love to see it. Well, more than one time, but sometime in the future. So yeah,
Yeah.
and we did had our live play of everything. So if you missed that out, go look. It's in our live section on YouTube, so you can find it there and see us playing. It was me, you, and Randy jumped in as our third player, so that way we had more than just a 1v1, because you really want to have like a group if possible. So and ended up being a pretty close game with vastly different strategies. I will say that. I'll just leave it at that. Our strategies were very different, and
Yes.
some panned out, some not so much. But yeah, so as of, well, when this comes out, it'll be yesterday for you guys. The Kickstarter went live. So let's go ahead and swap this over so that way we can pull up that Kickstarter just to give it a quick shout out before we start breaking down some of this new stuff. Yeah, everything's available there. If you want anything explained further, of course, it is there as well. How to play the game, a little overview, synopsis, that sort of fun stuff as well. If you haven't already checked out like our how to play video and things like that, we've got new stuff though for you guys. We've got the new character pack Camille, which we're going to talk about. The 3 new fields, which of course we're going to talk about as well, and a really cool storage box. That's available too, because if you back the previous campaign, there's the starter box, but it's kind of, it's pretty full. So if you're going to be buying more stuff to add to it, the storage box to go with it might be a good idea as well. There was the character packs from the previous one, have now been condensed down into a 4 character packs all in one, so a bit more like financially affordable, stuff like that. If you want to see other people review our game or unbox it, that sort of thing, we've got direct right there on the Kickstarter page, so you can watch those, check those out, so that way you don't have to just hear it from our mouth. We work for the company, of course we're going to say good things, but you can see other people's reactions as well to the game, like raw, uncensored thoughts and things like that. Links for our how to plays or play on your own, that sort of stuff. And yeah, and then all the breakdowns going on from there. But let's go ahead and let's talk about some of these cool things. So first up, let's talk about Camille first, right? I would think that would make the most sense. So I'm going to pull up her character card for everybody. All right, so ended up having to go into our Tabletopia mod here, so that way we could actually see what her character card did. We had the rival version downloaded in our community folder, so I'm just like, you know what, we'll go straight to the source and find it this way instead here. So yeah, we got Camille and her Rapture, which is named Dinotar, which is really cool. I like it. And then so she starts with a Ferocity starter card, which is our Petalamander, and then the Warder on the right side. So synergizes their Warder being on the right side already, pretty close to the end there, is really good. So you get that extra mastery. And then her effect here, her mastery is 4 cost. Gain the play or exit effect of a creature in your plan and grade it. Then you draw a card and place a card in its slot. Keep in mind, most of the cards, I think all the cards in the starter that you start with, besides her card, her tactics cards, are all creatures. So you will absolutely have creatures in play no matter what, even if you're not summoning, but summoning them from the the study, of course, very, very powerful. And then being able to trigger those effects a second time, either the another entrance or the exit of it, especially if it's not even close to the edge, it's in one of the middle slots. Being able to exit it like immediately after you play it on the following turn can be really powerful. But keep in mind, you will have to grade it, so you won't be able to get that benefit again for the rest of the game because it's going to be in your graded section. But then also getting to draw a card and then place a card in its slot. Because not only do you, if your hand is empty or for whatever reason, it shouldn't be, because you would have to have passed. But if whatever reason, you're going to be able to draw to guarantee you're going to have a card in hand. So really, really powerful effect here. I really, really like what she does. It took me a little bit to get used to it, for sure, though. And then her tactics card has two symbols on it, so it's a special card and it's a wild. Um, which you would think would feel really powerful. However, the ongoing of this card is when you summon a creature card, ignore styles. So you can discard whatever two cards you want to summon, and then the wild of this kind of loses its value a little bit. But that's only for creatures. So you still have your tactics and your items and things like that. That you'll see your value of the wild come into play on those. And then if you match one or more of the styles, you get a mastery. So that's nice. And then the play effect: recover a creature card in your plan, then gain its play or exit effect. Uh, Again, even if you don't have a creature that you've summoned from the study, you'll have your Terrachik, right? Terrachik is a creature that you start with. It's got the block ability, so it can get stunned if your opponent stuns something else as well. But remember, we do start with the Terrachik, and so being able to recover that back to get your block back, really good. And it also has a great exit effect, which is just gain 2 power. So, like, even in the starting deck with just no recruiting, summoning or preparing cards, either one, you'll still start with cards that will work with these effects. So really, some dynamic plays that can happen with this, and being able to recover other stuff. I forget what I ended up doing in that game, but there are creatures with block as well that are really powerful. Being able to get those again to be able to trigger, really, really nice. But you were playing against me. So what did you see on the other end when you were staring down Camille here?
Well, I definitely had the strategy of I don't want to allow you to summon creatures from the study, so I was trying to get those creatures from the study, so that you couldn't do anything with them. Especially those like tactics ones. I was like trying to take those off of the study as much as I could, so that you hopefully couldn't do as much. Which you still were able to do a lot and put a lot of cards into your graded pile, so, I didn't feel like I slowed you down too much in terms of that. But I do think there was a couple times that kind of trying to counteract your ability there kind of did get you. So I definitely was kind of trying that on my end to just kind of slow you down. But at the same time, I was trying to take creatures that either had a decent value that I could put into my graded pile or that I could end up using for their effects. So it wasn't like I was just shorting myself of being able to do something with them because I could still use them for something as well. So it was like kind of trying to take it away from you and still give myself a benefit for getting them as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everyone. I felt really attacked. Let me tell you, everyone's like taking all the good creatures before I could ever get to them, and so I was like, "Oh, what do I take? I can get the Silfunk, but I don't have anything stunned right now." At one point in the game, I did have a lot of stun stuff. Would have been great then, but it was kind of not a good position. But whenever the times would come around where I'm like, "Okay, let me summon something," none of these creatures that y'all have left me do anything in this moment. Thanks. Okay, cool. But yeah, she's definitely an interesting one. I mean, she's a little bit more obvious in how you can counter her. Like, of course, taking the creatures out of the study, things like that. But even then, she still just kind of like just does her own thing. I liked it for mastery to grade a one victory point card was kind of meh. But cycling them out of my deck so that way I could get see my study cards more often was really nice. I will say though, because anyone that watched the video make sure you do a decent amount of preparing as well, okay? Probably keep the warders in rotation so you can keep preparing cards to get cards in your deck so you don't deck yourself out, because yeah, you can keep grading like crazy. So being able to trigger something like a Patalamander, maybe that's just an example, you might want to keep it for its ongoing, but you know, play it, get the draw, discard, and then use her effect, draw, discard again, right? So you can get a lot of good value out of those cards that, you know, once they're there, they're kind of just like not doing much. So being able to immediately trigger them again or just getting them out of there was really, really powerful and really cool. So yeah, she's a lot of fun, especially in those creature centric strategies. But again, don't stay too locked in on the creatures, because yeah, you might find yourself in a situation where the creatures of choice aren't really that great. Well, maybe use that time then to build your deck back up a little bit because you've probably graded a decent amount of cards by that point. So you gotta balance it. A lot of balancing. I went really, really hard on one strategy of grading cards when I should have probably been balancing a little bit better, like everybody else was doing. So yeah, that those are my feedback and my 2 cents for anybody going to be playing her in your home games here in the future. All right, now let's jump over here. Let's take a look at our new fields. Now these, I'm pretty sure I did download the correct ones. So we will pull up our Dew Spring Glade here. And this is the green replacement for the Peaceful Glade. A little bit different, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. It's very, very, very different. You want to take us away on this one?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Dew Spring Glade, when you take the lead, you get to draw and the discard 2 times. And for first place, you get 3 VP. For second place, you get 5 VP. And for third place, you get nothing. So no sense in trying to go for third place over there, unlike previous fields. But I particularly really liked this field for the kind of different decision making that you could go for of, do I want to take the lead in this field and then get to draw and discard twice, or do I want to place some cubes and let other people take the lead and actually hope that I end up in second place, or try to place my cubes so that I end up in second place, to get more of those victory points at the end of the scoring round. So I thought that was really cool, in terms of the kind of decision making, and I used both in our game. A little bit of like, you know, kind of sneak peek at our game there, but there was one point when I took the lead so that I could get that draw and discard, and then there was one point more towards the end of the game where I was like, you know what, I'm not going to put another cube in there or supplant or anything like that. I am actually just going to stay in second because I wanted the 5 victory points, to get more victory points for the final scoring. So it was a really cool field in my opinion. I thought it was a lot of fun with that decision making.
Yes, definitely. And we'll talk about the summit as well, talk about some decision making there. But yeah, this one was really cool. It was really powerful if you could be the first person to put one cube there, right? Because you instantly take the lead there, and you've only got one cube, so it's pretty easy for somebody else to outscore you. So that way they can do that ability as well. Because you know, drawing and discarding in this game is really strong because you can cycle through your deck, grade every time you got to reshuffle your deck up from your discard. So that was great. And yeah, if you just have that one cube there, boom, I get the ability, cool. And then someone else can get the ability as well, but now I'm in second place. So now I get the 5 VP. So I got to trigger the effect and I get second place. Was a really, really cool like interaction there. This card also was really good if you could get the Illusion in play. At one point in our game, someone did get that, but they missed out just a little bit because I think they ended up kicking out the Lady Seer, and the Lady Seer lets you supplant one and then draw and discard. So
Mm-hmm.
that would have let them take first. So that would have triggered the draw and discard 3 times with Illusion in play to get a power every single time you do that. So really, really good field if you pick up the Illusion there. So to kind of focus in on some of your strategies there, I really like the incentive there of getting certain creatures because of the fields. Like I don't think we had that as much in the first iteration with the first round of fields, whereas this one is like, oh no, like this, like some of these fields really play heavy into certain cards and certain strategies. So if you can plan that far ahead and think that far ahead at least, I did not though. So well, granted, y'all never really gave me much option. I would have loved to recruit the Allusion to my field, but no. Okay, but yeah, Dewspring Glade, really powerful card, and a lot of back and forth with it. So really cool. Moving on, though, let's look at the new Redfield deal. So this replaces the local village. This is the village drill yard. Not drill like you drill into the ground, but drill like you're running drills and practicing and things like that. So it's a little tiny arena there, stadium, not stadium, but like, yeah, more like a tiny arena for practicing. All right, so this one, if you win it, you get to prepare one item card. You get 2 VP. If you get second, you can grade a 0 cost card from your discard. So all those starter cards, this is a great way to filter them out of your deck. So that way you can draw into your like study cards and things like that with a little bit more powerful effects, and allows you to cycle through your deck faster. So most of us ended up in the beginning kind of avoiding this field a little bit because they're like, oh, only 2 VP. Like, that doesn't sound that great. But uh, those effects can be really strong. Preparing a free item card, like, you don't have to give up anything, like, that can be really good. Guaranteeing your very first draw in that next round. But then the second place is almost even better, I would say, depending on what your strategy is. But being able to, yeah, thin out your deck and grade that 0 cost card is really cool. So yeah, I think it's a really neat card that uh, we didn't really see its depth until we kind of missed out a little bit.
Yeah, I think Randy kind of took advantage of it in terms of getting that first place and preparing those item cards quite a bit. For me, I can say I was going more for the victory points of fields, so I did avoid this one in terms of just, you know, yeah, this doesn't have as much raw victory points, and that's kind of what I was going for and banking on when I was vying for those fields rather than going for the cards because I was already uh, preparing cards on my own. So I didn't need to really prepare from that as well because I was going for preparing those creatures because I was playing against you as Camille. So I was kind of getting those creatures. So I was like, well, do I really also need to go for this field and prepare items on top of that? Or would I rather go for the just raw VP, and go for those points? So that's kind of the strategy that I went with in our game using this field. But yeah, there's definitely some times when you might want to use this field for first or second and say, yeah, it's okay. Like, we're getting some really good benefit, even though we're not getting as many victory points straight up, but we're getting the benefits. I feel like this is a little bit of kind of like ferocity, kind of like I'm giving up those VP, but I'm gaining something else. So there's a little bit of like give and take with this, as opposed to just kind of like, yeah, I get a benefit and I get VP. This is like, well, you're getting something a little bit better, but you're giving up some of that VP.
Right. Yeah. And it's also like effects that, depending on your strategy, like if you're already preparing a bunch, then getting all these extra cards maybe not that great, but maybe thinning out the bad cards so you can see those prepared cards a little bit more often. That is an option there for that second place. But if you're also, depending on the character you're playing, if you're grading a whole bunch and your deck is just getting smaller and smaller, maybe too small, then getting that for free prepare, round after round, because no one else is putting points here because they're like, oh, it's so little VP, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna get a free card every time, so that's another card for me to look at to grade. So yeah, I definitely should have been focusing more on the drill yard, but yeah, I just didn't see it in the moment when playing as Camille of how spicy those interactions would have been, small VP or not. All right, and the last one here, replacing the Dangerous Summit, we have the Blessed or Blessed Summit, depending on how you want to say it. So first place, this is how you get your first place token. First place wins the first player token for the next round. Since you notice we did not see it on the drill area, and then second place gets a mastery. All right, and a free mastery is like every round is really really crazy because some of our mastery effects are just mind-boggling good. Um, but 7 VP for first and only 3 VP for second, and then consolation prize of 2 VP for last. Well, not even last, but third. So if you're playing a 4-player game, yeah, of course you don't get any. But this one, this is the one we were talking about. Like a little bit of decision paralysis at times. Like 4 more VP than second. Okay. In the final round, though, you definitely want to get first because you're not going to be able to spend the mastery in later turns. But it's not even 7 VP; it's actually 8 because of the first player token also giving you that bonus VP as well. So in the final round, this is definitely one you want to jump in on for that 8 VP jump there. But in the previous rounds, 1, 2, and 3, second place looks pretty good depending on what your mastery ability is and how much able you're able to get your mastery points, right? I think one of our previous characters, her tactics card gave her a mastery. So that with the jelly cane, like maybe she doesn't want to go for second place here. She would probably want to prefer to get first. But for others, especially Abigail, with that 5 mastery cost that she has, like both jelly canes together is still not enough for her to activate her ability. So her getting second place here like would make a lot more sense because she really needs it. So yeah, decision paralysis of when do I try to intentionally go for second, and when do I just go all in for that the big 7. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely an interesting one.
Yeah, and in our game that we did, I was playing as Abigail and Rufus, so you know there definitely could have been times when I could have used that mastery. I think one of the rounds I did take second there, but my mastery was already full, unfortunately. So I didn't really get the benefit of getting that mastery. But yeah, needing to have 5 mastery for your mastery ability as Abigail, that can help a lot. But one thing that I think is really interesting about this too is that even just at one point, I think in our game, even just putting 1 cube guaranteed second place. So 1 cube was like worth 3 points. You know, I think I ended up placing two because of the card that I had. But even if I had placed one, it still would have put me in second place there because there was only one other person on that field at that point. So there's also that strategy and that kind of thinking about even if I place 1 or 2 cubes here, I'm still getting value for multiple victory points there for those. So that was something that I was thinking about throughout our game too is like how can I kind of get the most victory points for the power that I'm placing in those fields, and is that worth going for second place here or maybe second place for 5 victory points over in the new greenfield, right? So it's like, which one am I going for? Am I going for second? Am I going for first? Am I going for the effect on the card? Am I going for the victory points? There was definitely like a lot of decision making with these fields, and I feel like mixing these fields with the initial 3 fields from the base game as well can definitely, you know, you can mix and match and kind of decide what fields you want to play, and that can change, and you can really have a lot of different gameplay, a lot of different strategy and decisions just based on the fields that you're picking to play with.
Yes, yeah, because the beginner fields are the core box ones, right? That it's a whole different feel between the two. Like night and day, basically, your whole game changes. It's such a simple swap too. Like we're still playing the same game. Like we're still doing our deck building and stuff like that, but just changing the fields and then how they interact with the game is just crazy how much it changes everything. Like it was wild about how much I was shocked that just changing at the fields how much it changed, especially for yeah for me it was like the peaceful glade changing into the dew glade there and that drawing and discarding. I was like, oh my gosh, like, oh, when do I do this? Like, do I go now? Do I wait? Bless Summit. Do I try to get that first? Do I try to get that second? Oh, let me get the free prepare for this one that's worth so few VP. No one's even gonna bother going for it. So that's like an easy like
Yeah.
snipe of oh, give me a free card or give me a free grade. Like let me grade for free because no one wants to put stuff in here because the VP's so low. Like wow, just I love the ability that the, we all get to do in the design team as well as input from everybody else on the team, that it's like such a simple thing can be added to the game just to change it up so much and to make it so fun every single time. So I'm really, really thankful for that and really happy for that. It also makes, here we go, shameless plug. Um, it makes backing the campaign, even at the $1 build your own tier, just to grab the fields, like makes it worth it just for that. But I mean, I also grabbed the new character as well, so why not? But yeah, for just picking up the new fields, if you already have the core box, 100% worth it. Like they really do change the game up so much and make it, and it keeps it fun. So you don't ever have to worry about getting burned out. Not only are you constantly changing out characters and what you're doing there, but also being able to change the field out. Um, yeah, it just keeps the game fresh.
Yeah. And one thing that I want to bring up as well is, do you have the back of those cards as well for the two-player game with those dummy cubes? Those fields have the dummy cubes on them as well. So for two-player games, you're going to be playing with the fields here. So that village drill yard you can see on screen has three dummy cubes. So in order to get first, you really have to you got to go for it a little bit more. You're not getting those victory points, but you're going to prepare an item. So maybe. And then the Blessed Summit 3 as well. And the Dew Spring Glade has two on it. So a little bit, a little bit of work there in a two-player game to actually get some cubes onto the board to get that lead and get that draw and discard there. So that's something that's also very interesting as well, is to see how many dummy cubes are on there if you're only playing a two-person, two-player game. Um, and then, of course, these fields, if you're playing you versus a rival, then using these fields and mixing things up is going to change the game and change the strategy against that rival as well. So I love the addition of these new fields personally so much.
Yeah, that's a great point, especially because yeah, these fields are so like dependent on first or getting second, that having dummy cubes is just a whole nother element of like, how do I work this? It's like I can't just put the one into the glade now because yeah, there's dummy cubes there, so now I got to put three or supplant, right, to be able to get take the lead in this one. But then it also makes potentially getting the second place easier, like in the drill yard. Like, what if I just want a grade one? I literally just gotta throw one in there and boom, I've got it. So getting that second, it's definitely very interesting. I'm looking forward to playing against the rival for Camille in the 1v1 game here. I think it's next week. So yeah, that'll be a really interesting aspect of it. Yeah, that wasn't even on my mind at the moment until you were like, "Oh yeah, the dummy cubes." I was like, "What about the dummy cubes?" Oh yeah,
Yes. Yeah, they definitely change things up for these fields and the strategies that go with them.
yep. Yeah, I think that's it though. We can talk about the rival next time. We'll have another Tamer talk before the campaign closes out. So we'll go a little bit of a deep dive there as well, and any other our other final thoughts. But in the meantime, if you haven't already checked out our match video between Don, Randy, and I, go do that as well. Be on the lookout for the 1v1 in the future, and then our closing thoughts on that final video of for that final week of the campaign. You got any other closing remarks here?
Not in terms of Academy, but I do have some for the trading card game. So if we have time to talk about that, then definitely would love to talk about the trading card game a little bit and some of those cards that have been revealed and being revealed by some wonderful creators, which has been awesome to see these reveals. And we have even more coming up, so that's been very exciting. Um, I don't know if you have those cards available to pull up or not, or if we just want to mention what they were.
I can get them very easily. I've got the folder pulled up. Which one you want to talk about first?
Let's talk about uh, let's talk about Shorafin.
Boom, Shorafin, right there for you. Let's actually get over here
All right.
to. Where did you go? You disappeared.
I disappeared. I know, yeah. That's all
There.
right. You could hear my voice. You could no longer see me, but you could hear my voice. But yes, Shorefin was revealed by Don Fidel, which was a really cool posting on like Instagram and YouTube. So that was awesome to see. So thank you, Don Fidel, for revealing Shorefin. This is a special card with 3 cost and 5 power with a debut until the end of the. I can't read that, unfortunately. Sorry. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, I got you. Debut until the end of the round. Opposing creatures in this field cannot move. KO. Each player discards a card from their hand. Draw a card. And then the support, you may put an ally card from your discard into your hand.
Beautiful. Awesome. So, yeah, a new special card there. Wild and elusive as well for the traits. So, another wild card for my wonderful Rapture to eat up is how I'm looking at that.
Yeah, I was like,
Yes.
oh yeah, Adult here, a great target for Adult. Oh, but that KO effect, discard a card. Ouch.
Yes.
Yeah, because yeah, each player discards a card, but only the owner gets to draw one. So scary, scary. If you wanna eat this one up, just be prepared. You're gonna have to lose a card. So not only is it gonna cost a card to get rid of it, it's gonna cost you another card too when you have to discard. So ouch.
And then we had Terpion, which was we had an alternate art revealed as well, which is on screen now. So our first kind of alternate art reveal, which is very exciting, but another legendary, which is exciting. And you can see the kind of multicolored heart there. That is the indication of the alternate art. But it is a legendary, so a legendary with an alternate art. It's very exciting. But the
Yeah, so it's a three
yeah,
cost, 5 power, so same as the Shorefin was. And then debut, gain 1 VP for each field you are winning. Ongoing opposing ally ongoing effects in this field do not trigger. Wow. Let me
yes.
yeah, that's so wild. Yeah, gain 1 VP for each field you are winning. Like that's really
Oh,
really strong.
that's so wild. And it's a wild card. I love your pun.
Uh,
Unintended, maybe, but
yeah,
it is
and
a
it
wild card, in fact.
Yeah, yeah. And so you could actually get this out on turn one. Like you're playing tactics, so you have access to Lucky Hat. So you go Lucky Hat and then Terpion or Terpion. Oh gosh, oh no. I'm going to hear about that one later. Yeah, Terpion here is going to be able to be played out turn one. And then if you're playing the Bat, that means round 2, 3, 4. If you have more than that as well, you can keep triggering this with the bat familiar as well. So you could really really get out of hand really really quickly, and then that ongoing shutting down opposing ongoings. Oof, so good.
Yes. And I want to give a shout out and thank you to Ride My Avatar, who was the one that did reveal this. So thank you so much, Ride My Avatar, for doing that reveal and getting to reveal our second legendary. Now we've had 2 legendary reveals so far, so that's pretty exciting.
What
But
was
you
what
know,
was the other one?
the other one was the warder that
Ah,
John Dankestad revealed previously. So that was that was one that we had talked about last time as being revealed. But yeah, that was the first legendary, and Turpion the second legendary. Uh, so maybe we'll have more. Maybe we'll have more alt arts to reveal. Who knows? You got to stay tuned with more reveals, which we do have more reveals coming up. In fact, we actually do have this week coming up. We have a reveal by Jade Johnny. And then the week after that, we are going to get a reveal from Samuel Graham does TCGs. So looking forward to that. And let me just make sure. Actually, no. Next week is Jonesy, and then after that is Samuel Graham does TCGs, and Jonesy gave me a little bit of insight into his initial thoughts of what he has planned for his card reveal, and I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what he does with it. So, I'm not going to spoil anything. Want him to have his time in the sun and get to do his reveal the way that he's going to do it. And but I think it's a really cool idea and it's really fun, and I can't wait to see it.
Now you got me hyped. I don't know, so
But
I,
it
I'm,
is
I'm
it is
ready.
pretty hype. It is pretty cool. I love the idea.
Nice. Do we have any more spots for any other content creators that might want to join in?
We do actually. We have a few more that we need to fill in for like later September and the beginning of October, right before the Kickstarter for the trading card game launches. So if you are a creator or you know a creator that you think would love to do a card reveal for us, then absolutely get in touch with us. Leave a comment on this YouTube video, join in our Discord, and reach out to us. My DMs are open on Discord, so if you get in there, you can find me in there and just send me a DM. That works too. But we do have a few still working. I just got another creator lined up, so we're getting them in there. We're getting them in there. But yeah, it's definitely exciting to see all these different reveals, and it's been a lot of fun to see how each creator and each ambassador is doing their reveals a little bit differently and kind of how they're doing it in their own style. So it's very exciting to see. I love card reveals for card games. I've been a part of them for a lot of card games for many years. So to actually get to like reach out to these creators and give them cards to reveal, and seeing them do these card reveals is just absolutely amazing to me. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's such a cool way to, I know, like patting our own back here, but it's such a cool way to like reveal cards because yeah, most of the time it's just like, oh, the official, company reveals them or whatever, but this is like, oh, the community, just like, people out there, just regular people, not a part of affiliated or anything like that. They get these and get a share them. So that's really cool, and I'm loving seeing the community grow. Right, we were having new content creators join all the time, and want to get in on the fun. So that's really cool. Like just and it doesn't matter if you have a big channel or a small channel. Like
Yeah,
we're happy
absolutely.
to. You want to support us, we'll happily support you as well.
Yes, very well said. Yes.
All right. Well, with that, are we at an official close of this Tamer talk?
I think so. Yeah, that was a bit long winded and a lot of information we kind of jammed at you at the end there. But yeah, just again, thank you to all those ambassadors and creators for doing the card reveals. And I can't wait to see what else comes up. But if you want to stay up to date with those, then join the Discord for sure. The Discord is where a lot of our action happens in terms of posting what other content creators and various creators are doing in terms of like on the Kickstarter page where you see the unboxing videos. Those all get posted in the Discord as well. So there's even more that aren't on the Kickstarter page, and those as well for the trading card game. So definitely, I would suggest jumping in the Discord if you aren't already.
Awesome. Yes, absolutely. Please do. More the merrier. More people to talk to about Wildhearts. Always a good time. But with that, yeah, we will see you next time.